gentlemen, we are about to begin the program. My name is Ross Tisnavsky. I'm brother of Lena Berilovsky, who perished in 9/11. And it is my privilege to be the master of the ceremony today. Дамы и господа, меня зовут Рос Тисновский. Я брат Лены Бериловской, которая погибла 11 сентября. Я имею честь быть ведущим этой церемонии. Let me make some procedural announcements and we will begin. If you need sanitizers, you can find them, hand sanitizers, you can find them at the register deck. Also, if you contributed into this ceremony and would like to be acknowledged, kindly inform us at the registration deck, and we'll make sure your name is added to our materials. Если вам нужны санитайзер для рук, пожалуйста, попросите на регистрационном столе. Также, если вы внесли ваш вклад в эту церемонию, если вы помогли нам и хотели бы, чтобы мы упомянули ваше имя, пожалуйста, сообщите на регистрационном столе. Мы обязательно добавим вас. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the U.S. National Anthem and the Color Guard ceremony. The Color Guard ceremony is performed by the members of Russian American Officer Association of the NYPD. National Anthem is performed by Miriam Kushel. Гимн исполнила Мириам Кушел. Спасибо. Церемонию внесения флага и почетный караул исполнила Ассоциация русских офицеров Нью-Йорк Police Department. Дамы и господа, позвольте мне пригласить для начать церемонию Романа Герцберга, одного из первых организаторов семей 9/11. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Roman Gertzberg for the welcoming remark. He's the father of Marina Gertzberg and he's one of the founders of this organization.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's nice to see you here. Today is a hot day and hot subject. So we gathered here in a ceremony which is dedicated to 24th anniversary of 9/11 tragedy. On that Sunday morning, on that sunny September morning, the world changed, and so did we. I lost my daughter Marina in the towers that day, and know each of you carries the same ache, especially people sitting here in front rows, who lost their loved ones, their parents, their spouses, children, friends, whose laughter lingers in your quiet moments. We are bound by the grief, and the words cannot fully express. Yet we are also bound by love, by resilience, and by the sacred memories that keep our loved ones close. I think of Marinachka's smile, how it could light up the room, how she would call us just to check in. And I know you have your own cherished memories, fragments of joy and tenderness that live on in your hearts. These memories are our strength. They are the threads that tie us to those we lost. And our love for them, our remembrance, will never fade. It's been 24 years, but the pain doesn't go away. It transforms. We have learned to live alongside it, to build new moments of joy, even as we carry our sorrow. We have honored our loved ones by living fully, by loving fiercely, and by supporting each other. Your courage, the people who sit here, inspired me. Believe me, if it won't be you, I won't be staying here. And what inspires me also, the way you turn grief into strength. For 24 years, the September 11 family group stay united, one heart, one home. We build together, we held each other up, and we grieve side by side. And it is very painful to lose a very close friend. Last March, we lost John Leader, our dearest friend and mentor. John was the soul of our bond. His kindness, touching everyone he met, and his quiet strength, uniting us all. He saw people, not just faces, but souls, making him a true leader of New York Jewish community. Whether through the gentle word during the gathering or silent support in difficult moments, John's warmth was a gift we will carry forever. In the midst of all this, and kind of on a brighter note, we find joy in welcoming in our family a new member, Galina Savinkin's third son, Leo, whose arrival brought immense happiness and hope to everyone around him, especially his grandparents. We, the families of 9/11, are not alone in this journey. Together we remember, together we heal, together we ensure that the lives of our children taken on that terrible day continue to shine through us. We will hold each other close, share our stories, and keep the memories of our loved one alive and shining. Year after year, people who sit here, you return to support us, and you give us the strength. From the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you all who are here today. And to our children and grandchildren, we pass on this sacred promise to never forget the life lost on September 11, 2001. And with that remembrance, we hold hope the history will not repeat, and no other family should go through the agony of losing their loved one. Thank you very much. Thank you all. God bless you all, and God bless America.
For the honored guest address, I'd like to invite Salomia Momochi, is representing New York State Senator Jessica Scarcella-Stanton. Для обращения почетных гостей я приглашаю представителя сенатора штата Нью-Йорк Джессики Скарселлы-Спентон, директор Саломия Момоти.
Hello everyone, my name is Mia. I'm the Director of Constituent Services for Senator Jessica Scarcella-Stanton. It's an honor to be here with you today as we all remember and honor the lives lost on September 11th. This day is deeply personal for the Senator. Her uncle, Larry Sullivan, served with Rescue 5 in Staten Island after the attacks. And her godfather later passed away from 9/11 related illnesses. Their stories are just a few of so many that show the courage, sacrifice, the heart of our community. Today we stand together, not just in remembrance, but in unity and love. Thank you to Roman Gertzburn and September 11 Family Group for bringing us together on this day. We will never forget, and may we continue to honor their memory through kindness, service, and strength. Thank you, and God bless the America.
The next guest has always been our spiritual guide and never missed a single 9/11 ceremony. For the clerical address, I'd like to invite Rabbi Aryeh Katsen. Человек, которого я приглашаю, не пропустил ни одной церемонии уже, наверное, 20 лет и всегда был наш духовный гайд. Rabbi Aryeh Katsen.
Thank you, and I'm here actually to learn and to feel and to express my feelings of pain this day, sharing the pain, first of all, with the families who lost their loved ones. And since my beloved people, family sitting here, and I want to speak to them heart to heart, I'm going to just say a few words in Russian. Конечно, трагедия 11 сентября – это трагедия всей страны, всей нации, в каком-то смысле всего мира. Но для людей, которые сидят здесь вместе, для многих, это личная трагедия. Это боль, которая никогда не уходит, которая всегда с вами, и потому мы собираемся здесь, для того, чтобы нас услышал мир, нас услышала молодежь. Мне казалось 22 года назад, когда впервые мы здесь встретились, что настолько было понятно, что такое зло, его, если можно так сказать, ugly face, страшное лицо этого зла, которое потрясло мир, оно было понятно всем. Оказалось, что мир объединится в борьбе с угрозой, которая исходит от терроризма. И потому казалось, что ваш голос и ваша боль будут услышаны и объединят страну и человечество в борьбе с терроризмом, этим жутким и страшным злом. Потому мне казалось наивно и ошибочно, что наши встречи со временем будут все менее и менее актуальны, потому что мир, в котором мы будем жить, он будет все более и более мирным, любящим, теплым. И на протяжении последних лет мы видим с вами, что история учит лишь тому, что она ничему не учит, к сожалению. И мир, в котором мы живем, становится все страшнее, все жестче, жестокие. И все, что остается нам здесь сегодня, это издать крик и призвать мир опомниться и проснуться. Наверное, первый главный урок, который мы все понимаем, мы видели его 11 сентября, мы видели этот же урок 7 октября, и в другие дни мы только недавно видели подобный же урок здесь, на американской земле, очередной террористической атаки, что зло, которому не противостоят силой слова и силой оружия, оно может безнаказанно атаковать, убивать, насиловать, сжигать детей. И это требует того, чтобы люди, которые эту боль пережили 11 сентября, они с этой болью поделились. И все мы, кто слышат сейчас, кто будут слушать рассказы, превратили этот pain into fuel, превратили эту боль в энергию, силы, которая объединит мир. И для меня источником вдохновения и примером прежде всего является здесь сидящая Дина Лидер. Когда 11 сентября произошла трагедия, и люди бежали, и мы видели эти сцены, как люди бежали из Манхэттена. Дина бежала не из Манхэттена, а она бежала навстречу трагедии. Забежала в больницу и предложила свою помощь. Что я могу сделать? Потом вернулась к своему мужу Джану, благословенной памяти, и спросила его, что мы можем сделать. И они вместе начали, как мы можем помочь людям. И в результате эта встреча, я думаю, тоже родилась из-за того, что они стали центром помощи, и люди приходили, и семьи приходили, и потом эти семьи встречались вместе, и вместе начали помогать друг другу и помогать всем вокруг. В Израиле сейчас 2 моих сына борются с терроризмом с оружием в руках. Многие евреи, вот один полицейский здесь тоже приехал недавно, оттуда же исполняя свой долг. Но каждый может это сделать на своем месте здесь сегодня. И лозунг в Израиле борьбы с терроризмом называется, я его произнесу на иврите, «Бияхат ненацех», что означает «вместе победим». Всего вам хорошего.
Our next honored guest is the New York State Senator Stephen Chen. Следующий почетный гость – сенатор штата Нью-Йорк Стивен Чен.
Thank you and good afternoon. The first thing I'd like to say is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And in a moment, you're going to understand why I said I'm sorry. On the morning of September 11, 2001, I'm sorry, I'm a little choked up myself. I was a young officer assigned to the 7th Precinct in Lower Manhattan, in the Lower East Side. At 8:11, because that's the last time I looked at the clock, I was down at court, 100 Center Street, in a suit like this. And the plane hit. We heard it. We came outside, we looked at it. We thought a small Cessna or medium-sized aircraft hit the World Trade Center, but it wasn't. 10 minutes later, they told us, court is canceled, go back to your command. The 7th Precinct is a short walk. We went back there. We dressed up in my cop uniform. And the desk officer, I remember him telling me, go shut down the Williamsburg Bridge because the 7th Precinct is just right there. And I looked at the bridge, it was already shut down, and I said, what are you out of your mind? I'm going down to World Trade Center. And that's where me and 130 of my colleagues from the 7th Precinct went. I was in building 2. I was in building 2. And the reason why I said I'm sorry is because there's nothing more I could do to save your loved ones. I ran out with everybody else. I ran out. It's a miracle that day that the 7th precinct didn't lose any cops. For the next 36 hours, we spent the time looking for our colleagues that were lost. I lost friends, people that I went to high school with, people that I went to the police academy with, firemen that was right next door to us in the police station. And you know, 24 years later, I remember that day like it's yesterday. It was a beautiful day. It was a gorgeous day. About 72 degrees, there was a light breeze, it was cool, it was beautiful. And days like that today always remind me of 9/11. And again, I can't tell you how sorry I am that there was nothing more that I could do for your loved ones. And we often hear the phrase, never forget. Never forget. And I'll tell you, a lot of people forgot. A lot of people forgot. I'm gonna tell you what I never forgot. I never forgot the United States that we all love after 9/11, how we were united as one. Everybody looked out for each other. I'll never forget the heroes down at Ground Zero every day digging, hoping to see a glimmer of a survivor somewhere. I'll never forget the small businesses, the large corporations all pitching in to take care of all of us. I'll never forget the neighbors handing me a flashlight, me going to retrieve somebody's dog in Battery Park City because they can't get home. I'll never forget little stuff like that. Neighborly love. I'll never forget a letter that I opened from the Jacob Javits Center from a child in Nebraska that says, "Dear first responder, we love you." And attached was a little piece of candy. It's probably all he had, and he sent it to us. And those are the things that we never forget. Let us not forget our loved ones that was lost. Our first responders that gave their lives so that we can live free today. But look at us now. We're a country divided. And that's not what they died for. That's not what they died for. And subsequently, our military in Afghanistan, in Iraq, that's not what they died for. That's not what they died for. We need to be united. I think I speak for all of you here. I can tell from the look on your faces and your expressions that you love America just like I do. We're all immigrants. Whether we're the immigrants or our ancestors or the generations before us, how come us as immigrants, how come we love America the way we do? And some people that are born here, they don't. And you know, it's our duty to tell them, hey, you got this all wrong. This land is great. Stop your complaining. Stop your blaming. Let's move on together. And that's the only way we're going to ever see a strong America like right after 9/11. And that's what I'm never going to forget. Thank you very much for your sacrifice.
In memory of our loved ones, I'd like to invite Galina Savinkin, sister of Vladimir Savinkin, who perished in 9/11, and daughter of Valery Savinkin, co-founder of the Families of 9/11, which made this event possible. В память о погибших я хотел бы пригласить Галину Савинкину, дочь Владимира, который погиб 11 сентября, извините, сестру Владимира, который погиб 11 сентября, и дочь Валерия Савинкина, который коорганизатор семей 11 сентября, организация, которая сделала это событие возможным.
Thank you, Ross. Hi. Nice to see everybody again. Thank you so much for coming again every year. I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today, and I've spoken here many times, and I want to talk a little bit about my father today, if you don't mind. I wanted to see his face a couple of weeks ago, so I pulled up some videos on YouTube and heard his voice, which was really nice. I don't do that very often, and when I was watching these videos, almost all of them were about this place, about this memorial, about September 11 Family Group, about my brother Vladimir Savinkin, and I just realized, I always knew, but it reminded me how important this place was to my father, and how much of his soul and his blood and his sweat and his tears he put into building this memorial and to putting on this event every year. So I think it's really important to remember him as well because he's such an important, integral part of the story of September 11 Family Group, of this event, of this memorial. He started this many, many years ago with someone else who I'd like to recognize today, which is Roma. They came together as families, many Russian-speaking families, and they came together after such a terrible loss. Many of them had lost their children or other close ones, and they came together as some sort of like a support group, you would say today, to support each other and to help each other through. And they started September 11 Family Group. And I think I'm so grateful that they did that they found a way to move past, or through, not past, but found a way to move through such grief and loss together. Because things are always easier when they're done together with other people. It makes it easier somehow. I'm just glad that they were able to do that and create something that other people can come to and pay their respects. When I lived in Brooklyn, we used to come to this park all the time, and my oldest son would always come here and say hi to Vladik, and that's just something that was always a part of our trip to this park. So it's so important, and it's so beautiful, and it's very, very important. I also wanted to pay respect to Roma because he's been doing this now for many years, since my father's passing, so 8 years now, by himself, virtually by himself. And that's not easy. You'd be surprised how much goes into putting on a memorial like this and to upkeeping this memorial space, keeping it beautiful, keeping it clean, tidy. Roma truly does put his heart and soul into this place. He comes here all the time to water a plant or deal with a rat problem. You know, you'd be surprised how much goes into it, and I think that he really deserves some recognition for that. So, Roma. And thank you for mentioning about my third son. Another thing I wanted to talk about just quickly is, you know, what's happening in the world, which is tough, and I think has always been going on. This battle, I guess you would say, between good and evil, the spiritual battle. And, you know, I think if we want to be a part of this battle, which we are, whether we know it or not, but if we want to be a conscious part of this battle and really take part in trying to put good in the world and not let evil prevail, we have to start within our own bubbles, within our own homes. And that means taking care of each other. That means being a little kinder. That means not letting negative thoughts prevail in our heads or getting annoyed too much about little things like I do often. I was thinking, you know, I'm often getting annoyed. I have a lot of small kids, and it's hard and it's frustrating, and I have no sleep, and I complain, and I you know, think negatively. And I don't think that's the way that my brother Vladik or my father Valiera would want me to live. We have to be grateful for everything that we have, which I'm sure most of us have a lot. So, you know, that's the way that we can fight this battle, is by loving each other, being kind, being positive, being grateful, and letting out positive energy into the world. Thank you so much. I hope you guys come back every year. It's really important for us. Thank you.
beautiful musical intermissions are performed by the chamber string quartet Ideal Ensembles by Юрий Шубов. Музыкальные фрагменты исполняет струнный квартет Ideal Ensembles под руководством Юрия Шубова. Спасибо. The next honored guest is the member of New York City Assembly, Alec Brooke Krasny. Наш следующий почетный гость – член Ассамблеи города Нью-Йорк Алек Брук Красный.
Good afternoon, good people. Good afternoon, 9/11 families. Roman, is it the 24th? 24th, right? Not 23rd, 24th. 24th time that we here in this park together. And every one of us has his or her own images from 9/11. I have two in my mind all the time. It was a day when the whole city was having an elections. City council, citywide offices, etc., etc. So 7 o'clock in the morning, I was in Empire State Building. There was a Russian-speaking radio there. I don't know how many of you would remember that radio. Novaya Volna. I was there at 7. We were done with the show around 7:30. So I figured, I don't remember the exact time, but I think I was by the World Trade Center, I would say about 7:50. And I remember that image of those very tall buildings standing, and the background was like the sky that we have today. Blue, wonderful sky. And then I remember another image. 2 hours later, I came to Brighton Beach and was ready to continue with campaigning. I was in Corbin Place. And I remember when I started talking to a megaphone, the man, not a young man, rather elderly man, were whispering from his balcony. I don't think he had enough strength to scream. He was whispering, Alec, just stop the elections. And I asked him, what happened? He said, just come to my living room. So I remember coming one staircase. I remember those houses on Corbin Place. And I remember, I'm sure some of you remember those TVs, big, huge boxes. I think they call it projection TV, something like that. Big boxes before LCD and all the other screens that we have now. The image of the first tower going down. That's another image that I remember. It was a very difficult day for all of us. But I can't even imagine how difficult that day was for the families of 9/11 group for you. I can't even imagine. I was listening to the names on 1010 Wins today, and some familiar names came up on the radio. Roman, I'm sure you heard the name of your daughter. On that day, we were sharing many thoughts with each other, but the main thing was a big concern for the future. What's going to happen with our country? What's going to happen with our city? And we survived. We survived, and those 3,000 people just went right to heaven from those tallest buildings in the world at the time. Right to heaven. And 24 years later, we're asking ourselves, is the world a better place today than it was 24 years ago on September 11? I don't think I have a definitive answer for you, and I don't know if you have. But I remember one thing. The incredible sense of togetherness, a unity after September 11. Do we need a tragedy to come together? I don't know. Probably God is the only one who can answer this question. But most likely, without tragedies in our lives, we wouldn't be able to unite like we were united 24 years ago, right after September 11. I don't know if you remember President Bush's words a few days after September 11, but he said that they destroyed our buildings, but they couldn't destroy our soul. We were together in a very American way. So I guess like everything else in life, the big crises are always an opportunity for people to get together. We will never forget our friends, our neighbors, the people, and I believe in it when I'm saying it, who went right to heaven from those buildings. We will never forget. But how to make a world a better place for everybody? Every one of us is trying. Every day with some small things, with some bigger things. But I know that after September 11, America would never be the same. I want to thank Family 9/11 Family Group for gathering us here every year so none of us would forget. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I have a proclamation for September 11 Family Group because I think that September 11 Family Group, in the name of all of those whom we lost, who perished in 9/11, did something in our community that none of other organizations would be able to do. here in this park on 9/11. Every one of us can see a person who likes us, a person who dislikes us, a person who understands us or maybe don't understand, but we're all together here. And the memory is absolutely great. So Roman, if you can, please accept this proclamation from New York State Assembly for what you do for our community in order for all of us to be united again. God bless you all. God bless your families. God bless this wonderful city and a great state. God bless this wonderful country, the best country in the world, no matter what we think about it. And God bless our flag, the most beautiful flag in the world. Thank you all very much.
We are privileged to have many honored guests attending our ceremony. And I would like to acknowledge the presence of Yegor Kalman, New York State Assembly member. У нас сегодня много почетных гостей. Я хотел бы отметить Егора Калмана, члена Ассамблеи штата Нью-Йорк. Next, it's my sad pleasure to invite in memory of our loved ones, Valentina Ligina, mother of Alexander Ligin, who perished in 9/11. Я приглашаю Валентину Лыгину, мать Александра Лыгина, который погиб 11 сентября.
И снова здравствуйте. 24 год. 24 год мы встречаемся здесь по самому грустному поводу. И я хочу сказать всем спасибо. Спасибо всем, кто приходит сюда в этот день и поддерживает нас. Спасибо всем нам, спасибо лично нашей группе, которая делает этот день незабываемым. И я хочу пожелать всем нам и вам большого здоровья, чтобы мы еще имели возможность много лет приходить сюда и вспоминать. Я смотрю на всех людей, которые здесь, и я понимаю, что многих из них, я не знаю. И я понимаю, что все мы стареем. Мы все постарели на 24 года. И ряды именно нашей группы очень поредели. Мы потеряли очень много нам близких людей, с которыми мы столкнулись в самый первый день. И открыла эту дорогу. Можно я назову всех, кого мы помним и кого мы любим? Первое, кого мы потеряли после этого ужасного дня, это была Аня Гёрдбек, с которой мы встречались довольно немного, она умерла буквально через год. На протяжении всех этих 24 лет наша группа очень поредела. Мы потеряли Мишу Тесновского, ушел Феликс Сидов, мы потеряли Валеру Савинкина, мы потеряли моего мужа Вову Лыгина. И сам, боюсь, если я вдруг не всех назвала, извините. И самым большим ударом стал прошлый год для нашей группы, для меня лично, потому что в прошлом году умерла невеста моего сына. И еще большой удар, который мы понесли, это смерть Джона. Это было настолько неожиданно и страшно, что в этот момент понимаешь, что такое наша жизнь вообще. Я помню начало, когда мы все познакомились впервые с Диной. Это был Pier 94, когда мы все ходили потерянные, несчастные, не знали, куда пойти, что сделать, кого послушать, Дина взяла все в свои руки и водила нас, а мы были как вот цыплята, ходившие за ней. Мы ничего не понимали, мы не соображали, она и объединила нас. И благодаря ей и Джону, наверное, вот мы создали вот такую группу. И я хочу вам, знаете, что сказать, что, конечно, я этот день помню, вот как будто он был вчера, по секундам помню, что мы делали, куда мы ехали, куда мы приходили, что мы слышали. И вот, читая сейчас все, я не буду это рассказывать, читая сейчас все то, что происходит и появляется на интернете, я хочу вам сказать, что это очень страшно. Страшно, и, к сожалению, никто никакого вывода из этого всего не сделал. Потому что в те дни, в годы, в первые, Америка была как вот одно сердце, одна душа. Это было настолько объединенное общество, что трудно было подумать. Мы со всех сторон, не потому что мы, жертвы этой трагедии, а просто все люди были объединены. Я бы очень желала, чтобы сейчас кто-нибудь и все могли вспомнить это и вновь прийти к такому же обществу. Потому что, вы знаете, в этот день, день before, то есть перед этим днем, почти 3000 человек заканчивали тот понедельник и готовились к завтрашнему дню. Многие из них уходили спать, даже не представляя, что это их последний день и последняя ночь, и последнее утро на этой земле. То, что случилось потом, многие из них сумели позвонить домой. И все, что они говорили, это было только I love you, я люблю тебя. И все эти всякие там неприятности, все было забыто. Все говорили только о любви. И это говорили люди, которые понимали, что это их последние слова вот в этой жизни. Я не могу сказать, к сожалению, мне мой сын не позвонил. Но эти слова он мне сказал вечером 10 сентября. И вот я хочу всех призвать, я не знаю, какой добротой и какими делами можно как бы изменить мир, когда все зациклены на оружии, на войнах, на убийствах. Но я хочу вам сказать, вам, себе, всем, что каждый из нас пьет свою чашу. И никто никогда не может знать, что туда налил Бог. Поэтому, если я просто хочу, чтобы все стали намного добрее, намного мягче, и как бы, может быть, это сможет изменить мир. Вот все, что я хотела сказать. Спасибо вам большое, спасибо всем, что пришли. Берегите себя.
Our next honored guest is the member of New York City Assembly Michael Navakhov. Следующий почетный гость – это член Ассамблеи города Нью-Йорк Майкл Navakhov.
Hello, dear friends. Здравствуйте, мои дорогие. I'll speak a bit in Russian, since the majority of you speak Russian, and a bit in English. Я немножко скажу по-русски, поговорю и по-английски, так как большинство из тех, кто здесь присутствует, говорят по-русски. Прежде всего, огромное спасибо всем тем, кто организует этот День памяти. Это действительно огромная работа проделана. Большое спасибо Роману, большое спасибо всей организации. Что нас всех сегодня здесь объединяет? боль. Я смотрю на каждое лицо, я чувствую вашу боль. И это то, что объединяет нас всех здесь сегодня. Вы знаете, я сегодня был в 61-м отделении полиции, где мы вместе с полицейскими отдавали дань памяти тем полицейским, которые погибли 11 сентября. И я стал вспоминать тот день, то время. И я был абсолютно уверен, тогда казалось, что вот этот радикальный исламизм, руками которого был совершен этот теракт, он будет просто стерт с лица земли. И многие из нас были в этом совершенно уверены. Но сегодня, спустя 24 года, мы видим, я не стесняюсь об этом говорить, это в головах у всех, мы видим, как на выборах мэра Нью-Йорка лидирует человек, которого те самые радикальные исламисты выдвигают, поддерживают, вполне возможно, финансируют. И поэтому в этом году особенно больно, особая боль чувствуется в этом году. Неужели нам нужны трагедии, чтобы объединяться? Очень жаль, что мы не учимся на уроках, очень жаль, что мы не можем объединиться по поводу радости, а не по поводу печали. И несколько слов по-английски. Today we gather here as we have for nearly a quarter of century to remember September 11th, 2001. On that fateful Tuesday morning, thousands of lives were cut short. Families were forever changed. The innocence of a generation was stolen right before their eyes, and our city was tested in unimaginable ways. We remember the mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, friends, and neighbors we lost. We honor the bravery of first responders who ran towards danger, and the everyday New Yorkers who reached out their hands to help one another. Though 24 years have passed, the weight of the day remains with us. It is felt in every name read, every memory shared, every moment of silence. But so too does the strength, compassion, and resilience of this city, qualities that carried us through then and continue to carry us now. Let us hold the memory of those we lost close to our hearts and recommit ourselves to living with the courage and kindness they inspire in us still. Thank you very much. Огромное спасибо вам.
In the memory of our loved ones, I'd like to invite Melissa Gambiner Rabinovich, friend of Marina Gersberg, who perished in 9/11. Память о погибших я приглашаю Мелиссу Гамбинер Рабинович, подругу Марины Герцберг, которая погибла 11 сентября.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. It's so bittersweet for me to be here today. I met Roman, Anna, and Marina's best friends, Regina and Clara, shortly after 9/11. I also got to know the Sabinkin family very well. I had the beautiful opportunity to spend some time with all of them and share the beautiful stories of Marina and Vlad through my role at New York One News. This was back in 2002. I was sorority sisters with Marina at Binghamton University. We had a really nice time in college, and we were so proud of her success at Cantor Fitzgerald. I had just been out with Marina and a lot of our friends in Manhattan the weeks before 9/11. At New York One, we've also been able to share the story and the creation of this beautiful memorial and the tribute that you've held for the last 24 years. Life has a funny way of connecting us sometimes. My husband, Oleg Rabinovich, and I lived right next to the World Trade Center in 2001. Oleg was a lawyer and a college professor right there. He was diagnosed with 9/11 related stage 4 colon cancer in 2018. He sadly passed away from it 6 months ago. Even with loss, we can be connected, just as I had a few short months ago when I had the absolute pleasure of reconnecting with Marina's best friend Regina at a party, which allowed us to remember her together so beautifully. That's what brings us all of us here together to join in today's remembrance. This is a beautiful sign that Marina, Vlad, and Oleg, and everyone else who lost their lives because of 9/11 are watching over us, hopefully all together. Thank you for letting me speak.
Representing our next honored guest, the member of the City Council in Vernikov, is Erika Koifman, Community Liaison. Нашего следующего гостя представляет Эрика Койфман. Наш гость – член Совета города Нью-Йорк Инна Верников.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Erica, and I stand here today on behalf of Councilwoman Inna Vernikov to join you in the memory of the lives lost on September 11, 2001. The 9/11 family group, founded by Roman Gertzberg and the late Valerie Savinkin, who both tragically lost children on that day, has become a community of strength. Each year, you bring together loved ones, family, and friends, not only to remember those we lost, but to honor the bravery of all who gave themselves in those darkest hours to offer help and hope. Though the years have passed, the pain remains real, and so does our responsibility to never forget. It is our solemn duty to carry forward the memory of the fallen and to support the families who continue to bear this loss. On behalf of Councilwoman Vernikov, thank you for allowing us to stand with you in remembrance and solidarity.
Our next honored guest is the member of New York City Assembly, Bill Colton. Следующий почетный гость – это член Ассамблеи города Нью-Йорк Билл Колтон.
as I look before everybody today, and I have spoken at most of these events, this is really the special event for me on 9/11. The strength of your family members who were lost has obviously carried on to all of you. And you have continued to come out every year, 24 years now. So I really admire you and am inspired by your spirit, your family values, your being here year after year. And it's an inspiration to all of us. It's hard to believe that 24 years have gone by. It's hard to believe that those who are under the age of 24 were not born when 9/11 happened. And it is so important that we never forget. And I know over the many years, the work that was done by Roman and Valerie is not with us today physically, but I'm sure he's with us in spirit. Because their hard work put their heart and soul into making the 9/11 family group and keeping it strong. And that is so important for everyone. You know, we must never forget evil. We must never forget the loved ones that were lost because of evil acts of a few. We must never forget and never let evil triumph. Life in this world has always been a struggle between good and evil. And we must always speak out against evil because we must make sure that good will triumph. And good shows itself because the people have more good in them than evil. But some people are evil, and they try to destroy and take away. And that's something that the good people here and the good people all over must continue to be united against, must continue to oppose. And by your coming here, year after year, you are standing up for good. You are bringing forward the spirit, the values, all the good that existed in the loved ones that were lost, and giving us all hope for the future. You know, one of the things we must always remember, and we must never forget, in addition to speaking out against the evil that created this horrendous, disastrous loss of 3,000 people on that day, we must also remember the good that came out of people. So many people were roused to do good deeds to others, to help people wandering the streets, confused and disoriented. So many people, and especially we have to thank our police officers, our firefighters, our EMT workers, so many first responders who rushed into those buildings and rushed into the World Trade Center world, trying to help people and save people. And there were so many people there who needed to be helped and needed to be saved. So, while there is evil, and that must be fought against and remembered so that it then never triumphs, there's also many good people. And people who are doing good deeds. And that day especially brought out the goodness in many, many, many people. And we have to remember that also, because that's what gives us the hope for the future. Evil will always exist. We will always have to speak out against it. We will always have to fight against it. And unfortunately, more loved ones may be taken and their life cut short because of evil. But the good in people must also be remembered. And your loved ones were part of those good people. So when Alex Brookshaftney says he's sure they went straight to heaven, I think that's true. Because they were good people. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has their problems, their weaknesses, but they were good people. And they inspired many people to do good deeds that day to try to save those who got out of the building. My wife was across the street on that day, working in a building across the street from the World Trade Center. And she always remembers. And she remembers she was able to get back to Staten Island by taking one of the last Staten Island ferries that left. And many people helped her and guided her. She was very, very emotionally upset by that incident. She saw people jumping out of windows. She breathed in the chemicals that existed. So 9/11 means something very special to me. And when I come here each year, I want to make sure that I try to convey the importance of your being here every year. Your being here speaks out against evil and also speaks out of the presence of good people who are fighting the evil. And that's what we need in these days, especially more and more. So, God bless your loved ones. We'll never forget them. We'll always remember what they did, the ways they talked, the ways they dealt with people, the jokes they told, the sad stories that they told. But more than that, we also have to remember they inspired so many people to help others. And that's the basis of why we have hope for the future. There's always going to be evil, but we need to speak out against it, and we must always try to do our best to help others by passing on good deeds, by coming to meetings that deal with important issues, by coming to events commemorating the fight against evil by good people and making sure that good prevails. Thank you. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. God bless this organization, the 9/11 family, and God bless America. Thank you.
For over 20 years, I would invite a family to talk. A family of Dina and Jonathan Leader, who started as benefactors, quickly became friends, and ended up true members of our families. And John would share a wisdom, and I mean wisdom actually worth listening to. And in doing so, he would ask me to translate, which would push my knowledge of English and Russian simultaneously. I will not be able to invite Jonathan today. We'll still hear from the family represented by Dina. But Jonathan passed away, which is the true loss for all of us. Дамы и господа, обычно каждую церемонию 20 с чем-то лет я приглашаю семью Дины и Джонатана Лидеров, которые начали как спонсоры этого события, быстро стали друзьями и в конце концов стали членами наших семей. И Джонатан всегда делился с нами какой-то мудростью, которую в общем-то, стоило слушать. Я не смогу пригласить Джонатана, но семья Джонатана и Дины Лидер будет репрезентировать сегодня Диной. Дина.
Конечно, я тоже не ожидала, что я когда-то буду тут стоять сама. Но в честь Джана я буду говорить по-английски. И как у нас была всегда традиция, Ростик переведет кратко. What is the fabric of heroes? What makes a person run away from fire and another run into to save others? Dear friends, 24 years ago, we lived through a moment that split history in two. The smoke, the sound of collapsing towers, the silence afterwards, they remain with us. For some, it was the running through the streets of Manhattan covered in dust. For others, it was the phone call that never came. For all of us, it was the loss of thousands of innocent lives and the realization that our country would never be the same. Terrorism is destruction. It celebrates death, rejects humanity, and worships hatred. We, in contrast, choose memory, meaning, and hope. That is the difference between them and us. And that is why we must remain strong. Evil did not end on September 11th. We see it today in anti-Semitism, in terror abroad, in the threats that challenge America and Israel. But neither did our determination end. We remain strong because we must, because freedom and democracy require strength to survive. Today, Prime Minister Netanyahu drew a parallel between 9/11 attacks and October 7th. He reminded us that the United States vowed to bring all of the Al-Qaeda leaders responsible to justice and hunted them down in Afghanistan and Pakistan. And in a similar vein, Israel has hunted down the Hamas terrorist leaders responsible for October 7th massacre in Doha, Qatar. His words remind us, justice delayed is not justice denied. And the fight against terror is one we cannot abandon. I remember October 31st, 2001. I stood beside Emma Tisnovsky and late Leonid Tisnovsky, waiting to receive an urn of soil from the World Trade Center. At that moment, they got the call. Their daughter-in-law was in labor. That child was named Elena, after her aunt who was killed on 9/11. Today, Elena is a remarkable woman. She works at a law firm in England and will soon begin law school. She is not only Lena's namesake, she is her living legacy. 21 years ago, Sasha was born and named for his uncle Alexander Ligon. Like his uncle, Sasha is brilliant. A gifted musician, he composes and conducts orchestra. He too carries his uncle's name and his legacy forward. For every life lost, there is no replacement, but there can be a legacy. Children who bear the names of those we lost and who carry their spirit and their values, their brilliance into the future. That is how we resist terrorism, not only with might, but with life, by raising children who build, create, and inspire, by raising generations who will change the world for good. This memorial exists because families insisted the next generation must know. They wanted children to play nearby, look up and ask, what is this place? and for grandparents to answer. This is where we remember a day when thousands of lives were stolen, and we promise never again. Our Jewish tradition dictates that memory is not passive. If we do not remember, history repeats itself. To remember is to act, a safeguard, and to safeguard the future, and to strengthen the values we hold dear. And so today, as we stand on the threshold of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, we do not only mourn, we commit. We commit to live with strength, to raise children who will carry forward the legacies of the fallen, to defend America, Israel, freedom itself against those who seek to destroy. And now, on the cusp of the mayoral election that threatens our city and gives voice to terrorism, I say this: do not be silent. Add your voice. We cannot allow this to happen. Our silence would be betrayal. Our strength is in speaking, remembering, and standing united. On behalf of myself and my late husband, Jonathan, who loved and believed in this community with all his heart, I thank you. Thank you for your strength, your resilience, your commitment to memory. May the lives we honor today inspire us to protect what is sacred, to live with courage, and to ensure that America remains strong, not just for us, but for generations to come.
Что составляет ткань героизма? Что заставляет одного человека убегать от огня, а другого бежать в него, чтобы спасти других? Дорогие друзья, 24 года назад мы пережили момент, который разделил историю на до и после. Дым, грохот рушащихся башен, тишина после этого до сих пор с нами. Для одних это было бегство по улицам Манхэттена, покрытым пылью, для других телефонный звонок, который так и не прозвучал. Но для всех, для нас это была утрата тысяч невинных жизней. Терроризм – это разрушение. Он прославляет смерть, отвергает человечность и поклоняется ненависти. Мы же, напротив, выбираем память, смысл и надежду. В этом разница между нами и ими. Именно поэтому мы должны оставаться сильными. Зло не закончилось 11 сентября. Мы видим это сегодня в антисемитизме, в терроризме за рубежом, в угрозах, которые бросают вызов Америке и Израилю. Но наша решимость не закончена. Мы остаемся сильными и поэтому должны ими оставаться для свободы и демократии. Сегодня премьер-министр Нетаньяху провел параллель между терактами 11 сентября и бойней 7 октября. Он напомнил нам, что Соединенные Штаты поклялись предать суду всех лидеров Аль-Каиды, ответственных за нападения, и настигли их в Афганистане и Пакистане. И точно так же Израиль настиг лидеров Хамаса, ответственных за бойню 7 октября в Дохе, Катаре. Его слова напоминают нам, что правосудие может быть отложено, но не может быть отменено. Я помню 31 октября 2001 года, когда Дина стояла с Эммой, с моей мамой, и покойным Леонидом Тесновским, моим отцом, ожидая получить урну с землей с места Всемирного торгового центра. И в этот момент им позвонили. Их невестка, моя жена, родила девочку Елену в честь тети, названную в честь тети, погибшей 11 сентября. Сегодня Лена, удивительная молодая женщина, она работает в юридической фирме в Англии и будет учиться в юридической школе. Она не просто тезка Лены, она ее живое наследие. 21 год назад родился Саша, названный в честь своего дяди Александра Лыгина. Как и его дядя Саша талантлив, он одаренный музыкант, пишет музыку и дирижирует оркестрами. Он тоже несет имя и наследие своего дяди. Для каждой утраченной жизни нет замены, но может быть ее наследие. И дети, которые носят имена тех, кого мы потеряли, несут их дух и ценность их гениев будущего. Так мы сопротивляемся терроризму, воспитывая детей, которые строят, создают и вдохновляют. Этот мемориал существует потому, что семьи настояли, что следующее поколение должно знать. Они хотели, чтобы дети играли здесь рядом и спросили, что это за место. И чтобы бабушки и дедушки отвечали, это место памяти о дне, когда были украдены тысячи жизней. Еврейская мудрость учит, память не бывает пассивной. Если мы не помним, история повторяется. Помнить это значит действовать, оберегать будущее и укреплять ценности. Поэтому сегодня, стоя на пороге Рош ха-Шана еврейского Нового года, мы не только скорбим, мы принимаем это обязательство воспитывать детей, которые будут нести наследие и защищать Америку, Израиль и саму свободу. Сейчас, накануне выборов мэра, которые угрожают нашему городу и дают голос терроризму, я говорю вам, не молчите, добавьте свой голос. Мы не можем позволить этому случиться. Наше молчание стало бы предательством. От Дины и от имени ее покойного мужа Джонатана, который всей душой любил и верил в это общество, я благословляю вас. Спасибо за силу, стойкость и преданность. Пусть жизни, которые мы чтим сегодня, вдохновляет нас. Хранить святое, жить с мужеством и делать так, чтобы Америка оставалась сильной не только для нас, но и для будущих поколений. Ladies and gentlemen, traditionally, we are going to start now the lighting on memorial. Start the lighting of memorial candles. Roman Gersberg will start reading the names.
Ina Basin, Helen Belilovsky, Геннадий Боярский,
Alexander Braginsky, Marina Gertzberg, Daniel Elkanaev, Boris Khalif, Евгений Князев, Людмила Ксидо, Александр Лыгин, Елена Мельниченко, Юрий Мушинский, Фаина Рапопорт, Владимир Савинкин, Gary Chamay, Simon Weiser, Arkady Zaltzman, Igor Zuckelman, please stand up for the minute of silence in the memory of our loved ones. Thank you. Please sit down. One last time, on their faces in this video. Давайте последний раз еще раз посмотрим на их красивые лица в этом видео. Now, I'd like to invite you to the ceremony of laying flowers to the memorial. You can pick up flowers at this table. Whoever has desire to do that, please, you're invited. Я хотел бы пригласить всех, кто желает возложить цветы к этому мемориалу. Цветы, вы можете подобрать цветы здесь, на столе. This ceremony would be impossible without help of our benefactors and our supporters. I'd like to especially point out Rita Kagan, who from day one, 24 years ago, volunteered her time to help our ceremony. I'd like to mention participation of Ari Kagan, who's been a member of all our ceremonies and honored guest here. I'd like to also point out the following organizations and individuals who contributed. Architect Raya Saratovsky, Glincom Media. Irina Vernikov, New York City Council member. Michael Navajo, New York State Assembly member. Radio USA 105 FM, President Anna Peckerman. Davidson Radio, RTN President Grigory Davidson. Dina Leader, Elite High School, Idyllic Memorial Home, Lisavetsky Memorial Home, Modern Landscaping and Gardening, New York City Department of Parks and Recreations, NYPD 60th Precinct, Community Affairs Unit, Synagogue Free, Marina Lagunova, Ruskaya Reklama, Sinai Academy, Tour Masters Production Group, Universal Accounting, UAE Construction, Veteran Sport Association, President Edward Luchin, 8 Studio, producer Alexander Arbit. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Thank you for your commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, this completes our ceremony. Thank you for coming and remembering with us. На этом мы заканчиваем нашу церемонию. Большое вам спасибо, что пришли, чтобы помнить с нами.